this is a really amazing sight. That little bird that you just saw, that is a baby of the beautiful firetail. Now these are amongst Australia's most beautiful finches, but they're quite rare and their populations seem to be declining in the wild. And obviously one of the great hopes for them is to establish these birds in captivity in case they might become extinct in the wild. Well, they've turned out to be incredibly difficult to keep in captivity, only for very advanced breeders, but even then most of them can't keep them alive, and those that do keep them alive have great difficulty in getting them to breed. Well, the good news here is I've got a pair in this aviary. I suppose this is me having a bit of a skite, but there's a pair in this aviary. That's their nest up the top of that bottle brush. This is the adult. All over its body, it's sort of brown and blackish and almost white striped on every feather. Very beautiful but subtle pattern with the black around the head and, of course, that red tail. The babies are just a duller version of the adult. They've just brought out 3 babies, and I'm hoping that they might produce some more eggs and actually have another round. This is wonderful news. If we can establish these birds in captivity, it could be a great reservoir in case they do become extinct in the wild. But of course, equally, if you can't reintroduce them into the wild, at least the birds will go on and survive. Now, they're not readily available yet. You can't go down to the local pet shop and buy them, but my hope is that in the years ahead, the beautiful firetail, native to sort of around the Sydney region, my hope is that in the years ahead, if we can breed enough of these birds might be available and good aviculturists will be able to breed them and make certain that their future is secure. Now, if you're wondering how you actually do this, the aviary is about 10 metres long. Deep, well, I suppose it's about 3 or 4 metres and about 2.5 metres high. It's planted out basically mostly with food plants. These, of course, are seed eaters. But the interesting thing is, I have a dish of seed up the back there. They don't eat much of that seed at all. They eat the seed off a weed that I've put in here. It's a weed called guinea grass, Panicum maximum. It sets seed for most of the year, although these birds normally only breed around sort of January, February, perhaps March. But they love this Panicum maximum, and if you put that into the aviary, leave them alone. Don't go fussing over them. I don't normally come down here very much at all. Leave them alone, don't fuss. Plant out with some native plants. Watch it, there's nothing poisonous in there. If you have weeds like petty spurge, they'll eat that and they might well die. This is petty spurge. It looks a lot like chickweed. Now, chickweed's a great food for most birds, but the way you identify petty spurge, it grows upright for a start, whereas chickweed grows along the ground. But the easy way is you just pull off a branch, and as soon as you do, you'll see the white sap coming out of it. Petty spurge is actually related to plants like poinsettias. So there's that classic white sap, and I believe it's that white sap that is toxic to a lot of birds. If you've got this plant growing in any aviary, I would always remove it. So just seeding native grasses, perhaps a few native shrubs, and there's a chance that if you ever get some, you might be able to breed some too.